AMD just unveiled their highly anticipated Ryzen 7000 series CPUs, and they look to be a very tough sell. I'm honestly quite shocked to see just how out of touch they are with the market right now. Let's discuss that in this video. Hey, if you enjoy content like this, drop a like, make sure to subscribe, and smash that bell so you never miss another video. Hey, what is going on guys? Danny here, welcome back to the channel and I hope you've all been doing well. They're finally here. We have been covering many leaks and rumors on the channel pertaining to the Ryzen 7000 series. I wanted to remain as optimistic as possible, but it looks like that just won't be happening. AMD just unveiled the Ryzen 7000 series for the desktop based on the all-new Zen 4 architecture. I'll have a link to the video description to the live stream. I'm not going to be going over everything. I've already covered a lot of the architectural improvements in previous videos. I just want to focus on the main takeaways from the stream, such as the SKUs, to save time. So at the live stream today, AMD unveiled 4 processors. Starting from the top, we've got the Ryzen 9 7950X, a 16-core 32-thread CPU with a base clock of 4.5 GHz and a boost of 5.7 GHz, 170W TDP, and 80 MB of total cache for $699. So it looks like the clock speed improvements were true after all, and this will indeed be the generation that puts AMD on parity with Intel when it comes to frequency, so that's, I guess, a good thing. Moving on, and we have the Ryzen 9 7900X, a 12-core 24-thread CPU with a base clock of 4.7 GHz, so that's 200 MHz more than a 16-core, which makes sense since it has less cores and it can handle temps better and use less power. It's also got a boost clock of 5.6 GHz, 76 MB of total cache, and 170W TDP for $549. Then moving on, and here is where things start to get really interesting. We've got the Ryzen 7 7700X, an 8-core part with 16 threads. That has a base clock of 4.5 GHz and a boost of 5.4 GHz, 105W TDP, and 40 MB of total cache for $399. Oh man. Then we finally have the Ryzen 5 7600X, a 6-core 12-thread part with a base of 4.7 GHz and a boost of 5.3 GHz, 105W TDP, 38 MB of total cache for a whopping $299. Notable improvements include a 13% IPC increase, up to 800 MHz higher frequencies, which they claim gives them a total single-threaded improvement of 29% compared to Ryzen 5000. Now, they did also show off some benchmarks, and in some instances, such as multi-core performance, there's some decent improvements. I mean, with the clock speed advantages, DDR5 bandwidth, and IPC, you'd expect performance increases there to be in line with what they're showing. Productivity apps generally do take advantage of that stuff, so I'm not surprised. Now, when it comes to gaming, they compared the 7950X against the 5950X, and from the 4 titles they were showing, we can see an improvement anywhere from 6 to 35%. I found it interesting though that CSGO only showed a 13% increase, despite a claim of 29% single-threaded increase. CSGO is a very single-threaded heavy game. It cares primarily about fast clocks and IPC. So why isn't the improvement as high? I have a feeling Zen 4's latency isn't going to be very good, therefore it will play a role in potentially lowering its gaming performance. Not only due to bad memory timings from DDR5, but I think with Zen 4 they have reverted back to 4-core CCXs as opposed to 8-core CCXs. I don't know exactly why they had to make this change back, but I can see it being detrimental to the overall improvement when it comes to gaming. Now, compared to Intel, they had a slide showing the 7600X versus the 12900K, which is currently the best gaming CPU from Intel. On average, AMD are claiming a mere 5% increase. Yes, they made it look good because this is a 6-core part versus a 16-core CPU, which is more expensive. However, you can easily attain 12900K performance from a 12600K. So their strategy here, where they're showcasing value of the 7600X, is not really working here. I'm pretty sure a lot of enthusiasts can see right through this. One of the other things I wanted to point out was that here they mention a 5% increase on average. If you go back and take a look at the slides where they showcase the 5800X 3D against the 12900K, you can see similar improvements, if not even more. What this means is that Zen 4 probably isn't going to be that much faster than the 5800X 3D. And now we know why they didn't release more X3D CPUs, because had they done that, then all these Zen 4 SKUs would have looked even more stupider. I'm just going to say it, at these prices and the underwhelming gaming performance increase, these Zen 4 CPUs are going to be very tough sells. Like, if they wanted to price the higher end Ryzen 9 SKUs at those prices, fine, whatever. Those parts are generally targeted towards consumers where money isn't the first concern. But the prices for the Ryzen 7 7700X and Ryzen 5 7600, whack. There are a whole bunch of reasons as to why these prices don't make sense. I can't believe AMD gave the 7700X the same treatment they did to the 5800X. At launch, everyone said that the 5800X was just too expensive for an 8-core CPU, and that the 5900X was going to cannibalize its audience. I can see the same thing sort of happening with the 7700X, plus things get a lot worse due to the market competition that they have to face. I've explained in the past that the X700X Ryzen 7 CPUs have always been an economical 8-core part, but it seems like AMD has just tarnished that tradition. Also, it's 2022. Why on earth do they think they can sell an 8-core CPU for $400 and a 6-core CPU for $300 when their direct competitors are already offering more cores for less money? We'll talk about Intel later on in the video, but there are a few things to consider here when looking at Zen 4 Ryzen 7000. AMD are also competing with themselves. First off, if you want Zen 4, since it's on a new platform, socket AM5, you're going to have to purchase a new motherboard. These next-gen mobiles aren't going to be cheap, and you'll also have to purchase new DDR5 memory. Also, B550, or rather B650 motherboards aren't going to be out until later on, so if you want Zen 4 earlier on, you're going to have to pay those premium prices for X670 or X670E motherboards. And you'll also have to purchase new DDR5 memory, the latter of which is still relatively expensive. Prices have come down a bit, but right now a top-tier Samsung B-Die kit will outperform an entry-level DDR5 kit due to the abysmal timings and latency on those. If you're on AM4 and you can get a 5800X 3D, that's probably the way to go, which from the looks of it will probably give you similar performance to Zen 4, and that's just a straight-up drop-in into your current system. There's no need to change anything else. Also, they're going to be competing against vanilla Ryzen 5000. Ryzen 5000, despite being about 2 years old at this point, is still pretty decent for its money. I'd say it's fast enough for the vast majority of users. And prices on those SKUs have dropped tremendously. You can pick up a Ryzen 5 5600 for like $150 and have a very capable gaming processor. Even if a 7600X is about 30% faster in gaming, it's really hard to justify paying almost double the price if that's the kind of performance increase that it has to offer. The same can be said for the rest of the SKUs as well. You can pick up a Ryzen 7 7700X for about $280. The Ryzen 9 5900X is currently going for $370 on Amazon. That's great value if you ask me for those previous gen CPUs. Pair that with a Samsung B-Die kit, a B550 motherboard, and you've got yourself a great bang for the buck system. You can use that money saved towards a faster GPU, which is what will have the biggest overall impact to your gaming performance anyways. Then, on the other hand, we've still got Intel. We still have to see what they're going to be doing with Raptor Lake, because I've also heard some rumors that Intel might be increasing prices on those future SKUs, but they are increasing core counts from what I hear, and they still support DDR4. If they keep prices similar to what we got with Alder Lake, then it's game over. Speaking of Alder Lake, just like with the Ryzen 5000 series, you can probably find these SKUs like the 12600K or 12700K on sales or clearance deals, which means they'll be offering impeccable value to consumers. My suggestion to PC gamers right now is that if you are building a new system, then Alder Lake makes the most sense. Another channel I like to watch is The Good Old Gamer. Chris over there made a video showcasing a variety of Intel and Ryzen CPUs using various timings from DDR4 and DDR5 kits, and from what I saw, the 12600K is the go-to budget king right now. You can pair the CPU with a nice DDR4 kit using Samsung B-Die, sacrifice a weekend to tune the system, and you've got a system that's going to be offering gaming performance comparable to the top tier CPUs on the market, and that will probably be just as good as what Zen 4 is offering, maybe a tad bit behind, or it might even be faster in some cases. I don't know, we'll have to wait for benchmarks, but the thing is, Zen 4 really isn't looking that advantageous over what Alder Lake currently offers. I'll have a link to his channel, definitely recommend checking out that video, it's really informative. This is just too little for too much right now. The prices are high, they haven't increased core counts, not to mention TDP increases. Like, I don't want to seem self-centered because I live in an area where electricity isn't too expensive, but a lot of places around the world don't have that kind of luxury, so, you can also add that to the increased costs. New platform costs, new RAM, which you can bet will come with a plethora of issues, which I'm starting to also hear some rumors about right now. I don't know, Zen 4 is just a generation I can see a lot of people skipping right now. It's hard to defend, even if you are an AMD fanboy. Now, I am very much looking forward to what Intel will be doing with Raptor Lake more than ever. It's kind of like AMD just kind of handed them this generation's victory, all nice wrapped up with the ribbon on top. But for now, vanilla Ryzen 5000, 5800X 3D, and Alder Lake are still what I'd suggest over Zen 4. If you guys found this video to be informative and entertaining, then leave a like. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Be sure to check out the video description for cool links and ways to support the channel, such as using my Amazon affiliate link. And if you're interested in seeing more content like this, then consider subscribing, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.